Hello and welcome to Business with Smith Co. Hello and welcome back to Business with Smith Co. Today we're going to be looking at break-even analysis. Anyway, so basically, unfortunately we can't actually, this wouldn't be the best medium to kind of talk about break-even analysis. So we'll look over some of the key terms involved and also some of the benefits and the limitations of break-even analysis. Because the thing about business is that generally, you'll see that business is more about this kind of thing where you're like, okay, so we have this. So anyway, getting into the stuff. So a break-even analysis basically helps you sort of calculate what you need to sell, well, when you sell before you just start losing money. Because it breaks into this sort of thing. There are terms and calculations of break-even analysis. So there's fixed costs. Fixed costs are the costs that remain the same regardless of the level of output made. For example, rent, loan repayments, and insurance. For example, if you have, a high rent, then you're going that as long as it doesn't change, because the landlord is increasing the rent, then that will generally be the same up. You can tell that when it's coming up. It's fixed cost. Then comes variable costs. Variable costs are that they change as the level of output changes. As output increases, variable costs increase. For example, direct wages, raw materials, and energy costs. So if you make more of this, if you make more goods, then you'll have to pay more for raw materials because you're making more. So that's the kind of thing you have there. Next, of course, you have contribution per unit. This is how much each unit sold makes you after you take away the cost of making it. It's calculated in this formula: selling price minus variable cost price. Next, you have your break-even amount. Break-even amount is the number of units a business needs to sell to cover the total cost that it actually has to pay. It's calculated by the formula fixed cost divided by contribution per a unit. Next, you have profit at full capacity. Profit at full capacity is how much profit a business plans to make if it successfully sells the forecasted target output. It's calculated using the formula total revenue minus total costs. Total revenue is calculated using the formula forecasted output in units by selling price. Total costs is calculated by using fixed costs plus variable costs. So fixed costs plus variable costs equals total costs. Margin of safety is how far forecasted sales can fall before the firm begins loss making. It is calculated by the formula forecasted output in units minus break-even amount. Now, next comes something further. Now, break-even analysis can be very specific. It has to be very specific. You have to use rulers to draw a graph to scale. Most of the time, break-even analysis are done on graph paper. You should start at 0 on both axes and go up in equal gaps. You should be giving the break-even chart a title, and the horizontal axis should go from 0 units up to forecasted or full capacity output in units. This axis needs to be labeled as output in units. The vertical axis, the one going up, is for both total revenue and total cost. This axis needs to go up in the total revenue at full capacity and forecast output. This axis needs to be labeled as revenue or costs, and then you have your currency. Now, it's important that this is done because if it's not done, then you have a problem. Because if they're not equal, then break-even analysis can be wrong. If it's wrong, well, that it's wrong. Step 2, it would be to add a total revenue, total cost, and fixed cost line. So to draw a line, you need 2 points. Plot the value of each of the lines at 0 units and then full capacity to join them, is how some people would do them. So then you have to label all the lines drawn. So if you always make sure though that you do have your fixed costs, and then you come from that for your total costs, because you don't have your total cost starting from 0. Have your total cost starting from fixed costs, and then that line goes up, and then your total revenue goes to 0. Your fixed cost should be a straight line across. That's how it should work. Anyway, that is basically how you'd be drawing that. Now, of course, there is a further part to a break-even analysis. Doesn't end there. You also need to have your break-even point. Your break-even point is where the total cost and total revenue line meet. Now, your profit at full capacity would be the space between your total revenue and total cost line at its furthest point. Now, obviously, the point is that this is a little bit harder, but when you change your break-even analysis, but you want to keep the previous results, you have to draw more lines. And that is important because when you have that, you need to draw another break-even point and all these other things. The one thing you do keep the same is fixed costs. Now, moving on to benefits of a break-even analysis. So, the benefits of break-even analysis are as follows. It forecasts profit. An entrepreneur will know from the break-even analysis how much they need to sell in order to start making a profit. For example, these videos, because it's kind of a one-man show, it's like, well, technically, I'm not paying anyone because I'm the only person involved, but, there's still time involved to it. So the time spent in these videos will be like maybe 2, 3, 4 hours. So that's the kind of thing. So you're thinking, well, if you're not making enough money to cover that time, which you could be working in, another job in, then, well, if not producing enough money in that area, well, then maybe you're just not achieving that thing. So that would be around maybe €30 or €40. That's the thing. So obviously, if you don't live in the European Union, then, or European Economic Area, I should say, then obviously you might want to open up a currency thing and just convert to your currency, whatever the case may be. That sort of thing where you're going, well, if you don't achieve that level of money for what you're selling, then you aren't achieving that goal. So gauging where it's realistic to actually have this, based on the analysis of the market, of course. Now, it also shows the size of the safety net. So the margin of safety will show an entrepreneur how far from their target sales are they able to be while still not making a loss. This helps them decide if a venture is way too risky or just too risky, and if a margin of safety is too small. For example, let's say there was an advert on these videos, and we decided to pay for a subscription for, like some of the videos have the software we use because they have like a free version. The software stamps their name on it. So if we want to say, well, no, we don't want to have stamp the name on it anymore because it obstructs the eye when you're watching the video. So we just have to pay for that. Then we have to convert that into our thing. Go, well, that's a variable cost now, or actually fixed cost. Actually, would it be variable cost? Would it be fixed cost? It would probably be fixed cost realistically because it wouldn't change month to month. So that's a good thing. If you have that, then you'd have to put that in there, and that would mean you'd have to calculate. Okay, well, if we don't make enough money on this, then we need to just maybe not have that feature to cut down on that. And that is one of the things that that really does benefit from break-even analysis. Next comes the limitations of the break-even analysis. So the selling price is a problem because prices may have to be lowered to sell more units. If you're, if YouTube decides, well, you know what, we're actually going to lower how much you get paid for your adverts because we want to have the advertisers to be able to have more advertisements. So we are now giving you half of what you originally did. Then obviously that's a problem because that means your prices are lower. So even if you sell the same amount, well, that's still much lower than you did. Much less money coming in. So as a lower price will help increase the demand, however, it may not. It's a risk you have to take. Now, you might think, okay, a lower price will help increase the demand, but a break-even analysis will show sales objectives based on the selling price remaining consistent. So if the price changes, well, you're going to need to redo your break-even analysis, and then, well, your entire thing might be changed. You might be getting very, very close. What I'm saying is, if you have a price and you go, okay, so we got enough money coming in, we're selling these many units, so our margin of safety is big enough, and then we need to drop our prices. And if you were to redo the break-even analysis, you might go, oh wait, no, that margin of safety is much too small than it was originally. So we really need to stop doing this, and that's the problem because it doesn't tell you that. You can go, oh look, my margin of safety is fine, yeah, and then you reduce the price and it's like, oh wait, that break-even analysis is not talking about our current one, does it? It's talking about our previous price. Next comes costs. Variable costs might decrease when you buy in bulk, so they may not be consistent with overall quantities. Our break-even analysis is based on variable costs remaining the same at all levels of output. For example, if you're looking at variable costs, this really is a problem because if you're looking at something like just a sudden cost, you could have, let's say this computer was to break that we're running this on, then that you need to replace the computer or you need to have it repaired, and that's a massive cost that is suddenly there, and that's the problem. It doesn't take in sudden cost. It only takes in cost that will be consistent. So it's just going, well, that changes for each time you increase in your price. If you're talking about variable costs, or it doesn't increase if you're talking about fixed costs. But it doesn't talk about, well, what happens if something breaks? Then boom, you got a lot of money to have to pay out, and then the break-even analysis is incorrect. Then you have returns and refunds. A break-even analysis does not factor in any sales that are returned by customers. What this means is, let's say this video is created, and then people go, what? I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that at all. I don't watch it. That's something that people didn't buy, or people looked at it and went, no. So if people decide, no, I'm not going to get that. Nah, return it now. Return it. Then that is a good that you've paid for. But the customer hasn't used, and you're not able to sell that again because no one wants it because it doesn't work or seem not to work. And that is what some companies obviously are able to change this by, they're able to, if there is something wrong with it, just fixing that problem and then selling it at second hand. But that only faces costs, which are not included in the break-even analysis, as we talked about before. But it also causes the problem of when you do sell it, once again, that's a completely different selling price. So that is a problem. And that is the limitations of break-even analysis. Thank you for listening to this video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and look at other videos if you want to. Bye.